Hello once again, welcome back inside the studio with four tiers here in Morgantown, West Virginia. For the Charleston Daily Mail, covering this preamble to the 2014 season with the West Virginia University football team, I am Mike Casazza, and you're that close to what you've been waiting for quite some time. I would say probably since the end of the 4-8 season that was last year, but maybe even the midst of that 2013 campaign where you just knew things weren't going to work out the way you had wanted it to be. But right now you're optimistic because a lot of those problems that you spotted early and often last season, well, it doesn't seem like they're in place right now. Maybe not. We'll get into that in a second. But 3 days left. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, and then that season's coming quicker than you think, which I'll also explain in a minute. But let's begin at the end. We are at the end. 2 days today, a terrific Thursday in Morgantown. Beautiful day, great weather, which has been the story for most of camp. Light workout in the afternoon, upper body pads, some scrimmaging stuff, just 7-on-7, nothing real severe. Tomorrow, though, full contact, full pads, and the scrimmage on Saturday, a full war scrimmage. This is interesting because obviously when you get to the finish, you want to see who can go strong to the end, but West Virginia still has some things it has to accomplish. A lot of the conversation, many of the stories written, that's all focused on how this year is not situated to be last year. A wealth of starters back, a number of really good backups at key spots, great depth, a loaded roster, 83 players on scholarship now, things that a Dana Holgorsen team in the Big 12 has not been accustomed to yet. That said, there are still some things that WVU has to achieve as it finishes. Most notably, I would think, they have one cornerback right now. Daryl Worley penciled in. Yes, stardom lined up for a great season. Dana Holgorsen and Brian Mitchell think, sure, he can become one of the best in the Big 12 right away. But opposite him, we probably thought Ickey Banks, not so. Dana did not mention him today, just said that he needs a starter over there. So let's keep an eye on Travis Bell, who's quietly been very good, and Terrell Chestnut, who showed up again today. Offensive line, really good. Now you have some depth. We found out today Mike Colicchio, the 6'9", 335-pound, well, he had been an oddity on special teams as the shield on punting, and now he's just kind of a Swiss Army knife on the offensive line. He's going to play guard. He's going to play tackle. He's on scholarship. He is probably your number 6 lineman right now. Behind him, Stone Underwood, who had hurt his shoulder previously in an Oklahoma drill gone bad. He's going to play guard tackle in a pinch. And then after them, Tony Mateo is your backup center, who also is, again, quietly behind those 5 main guys, had a nice camp. Receiver starting to sort itself out really too, but I do want to repeat some things people have told me before. Shelton Gibson has a chance to be really good if he can put himself together and make it work out there. You watch him run and catch and go, and it looks different than some of the other guys that he's competing with. Right now, he's behind Devontae Mathis at one spot, behind Mario Alford. On the other side, Vernon Davis firmly behind Kevin White. Defensively, you saw Nick Kwiatkowski back today. That's good news. Earlier in the day, Dana had said he might be out a little bit longer, but he came back quicker. He's in white. Brandon Golson was out there running around a little bit too, so that's good. Did get to see a scrimmage situation. Most notable there, we talked about the cornerback spot. Chestnut was the first-team corner. Everybody else was as expected, including Drayvon Henry at free safety, and then all the usual suspects in that 7-on-7 spot on offense and defense. No great surprises there. So they'll wrap up with, again, big, hard, full practice tomorrow, scrimmage Saturday, camp breaks, and then the coaches just kind of hold their breath, cross their fingers, and sleep with one eye open, so to speak. That first Saturday, when camp breaks and the students are back on campus, that keeps coaches up at night every year. They don't want that phone to ring at night. They don't want bad news. It happens everywhere. Camp ending is cause célèbre on a lot of campuses. These are players who've been going through it for a long, long time. The days are hot and they're long. Sometimes they're rainy. Sometimes you're tired of fighting the guy across from you and you want to get against somebody new, and you get out of that repetitive, sometimes mundane experience, and you're free for a couple of days until you get back into it. And you're also surrounded by all these corruptors who haven't been around for weeks and months. The campus is flooded again with co-eds who don't always have the best intentions, and you mix it up, and sometimes things can go bad. It happens everywhere. I think West Virginia's players are going to be ably warned when they leave Saturday that they best not be in the paper Monday morning. When they do come back, well, it's going to be Alabama week, which is interesting because, Mike, Alabama's 2 weeks from now. It is, but it isn't. Allow me to explain. One thing Dana Holgorsen has changed this year, and honestly, he's adapted to and altered many things we have found out, whether it be offense, defense, or routine. He's going to turn next week into a game week, a mock game week, but the purpose is going to be served a week later. They'll have a Monday off where they go to their first day of classes. They'll do whatever minimal football obligations they have on their own. That's their off day during the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, practice, practice, practice. Friday is kind of your walkthrough day. Don't do anything hard. Don't do anything strenuous because you want to cool off the day before the game. And then Saturday, they'll have a mock game. Similar to a scrimmage, I bet, but it's going to be the experience that they can use to simulate what awaits a week later. Granted, Alabama, nothing like a simulation on campus, but they want that routine next week to be the same as the week that follows. So when they're going through that Alabama preparation, they don't have to worry about the first time they do this, where to be at this time, who am I sitting next to, what time do I have to be there, anything like that. That's all going to be old hat because they'll have drilled it next week. So few speed bumps, a lot of routine and familiarity in the week of Alabama prep. That's down the road, though. We'll keep an eye on some depth chart battles, some conclusions that we can draw from this weekend at the end of the beginning here at WVU. For Charleston Daily Mail, I'm Mike Casazza. Take time, tell your friends, take care of each other.